Hi, hello, welcome. Pip here from queenpipcards.com. You can also find me at queenpip.stampinup.net. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today I am showing you some of the new stuff from the new catalogue, which has launched today. Yay! So now you can go and shop online for all of these gorgeous things. So we're using the Blossoms in Bloom all this week. I've done a video yesterday just using the stamps, and then on Monday I also had a blog post up with two different cards on there as well. So lots of inspiration for the stamp set so far, but now we're moving on and we're going to look at the beautiful dies that come with it. So these are called the many layered blossoms dies, and of course you can buy them on their own if you wish, but you can also buy them together with the stamps as a bundle and get 10% off, which is always a good thing. So you get two massive stamps and then four little dies and one is an outline and one is an infill, and they're a little bit like the Peaceful Poppies we had last year, or still have this year as well, but they came out in the mini in January. Not last year, earlier this year. Oh, it seems like this year has been so long. So this one goes underneath, this one goes on top, or you can use them individually, as I have here, to actually outline the stamps. So this one I stamped and then outlined in black cardstock with the die. Now I got my positioning a little bit wrong, so we're going to talk about that today, but it doesn't look too bad, even with a bit chopped off, as it were. And then this one obviously just uses the two dies together and looks stunning. This is in the new Magenta Madness, which is one of our in colours. Isn't that just gorgeous? Pops off the page with Gorgeous Grape and Bermuda Bay, because I was in a brights mood when I made this. And this is Mango Melody with black, which just looks stunning. I've got some more to show you later, but in the meantime I thought we would crack on and we would do these cards again, but in slightly different colours and slightly different tones. So the first one I'm going to show you, we'll do the one where we overlay the two together. Okay, so in the new catalogue we now have these adhesive sheets, which were like the old Sizzix adhesive sheets that we had, which is brilliant because it means that you can use them to die cut out, and it just goes so easily straight onto the onto each other. So we're going to cut this one out to be the underlayer. Okay, so we're going to have Cajun Craze with crushed curry on top, like that. So let me show you how these dies are, because they're big. They are huge dies. You need just over, I mean, if you're really tight, you can just about get it into a half of our, like a card front size, 10.5 by 14.4, but it is so tight. This is 11, so you can see how tight it would be on a 10.5, and I just like to use 11 because it just means that it gives me a little bit more extra wiggle room, as it were. So that's how you would cut them out. They've already been backed with the sticky stuff. Okay, so this will stick onto this, I'm going to go and do that on my Big Shot, so bear with me while I do that. Okay, so depending on the strength of your Big Shot, what the pressure is like, you might need to turn these upside down to cut, which is what I do, just to make sure that they cut through. With the backing on, this one cuts through perfectly. Okay, with this one you do need to run it backwards and forwards a few times, and it might just stick because there's such tiny little areas that it's, you know, you've got to be a bit careful and make sure that they've gone through. So I run mine backwards and forwards a few times, and then before you try and get it out, just make sure that you're not dragging any bits. They have actually cut all the way through, it's just that they haven't cut all the way through the sticky stuff on the back. Okay, so if you see, I can lift that off and it has cut, but it's better to not force it, just wait for it to come out as we go. Okay, so we're going to use our beautiful new brush end, yay, from my die brush. I love this on the Take Your Pick tool. It's great because you get pokey at one end, die brush at the other, and then you can twist it off and interchange it with your putty tool, your spatula tool, and then your scoring tool. It's just fabulous. Okay, so make sure they're all out, and then as I say, that one's easier because it's bigger bits, bigger shapes. So that one comes through quite easily. This one, it's got little diddy bits, like all these tiny little dots here. So don't be worried if it doesn't look like it's coming out. It is. Okay, it's just stuck to the, like all these are coming out, but they're just, because of the sticky stuff on the back, it doesn't look as obvious that they are. Okay, so we can just gently peel this away. See how easy it comes out? There's nothing left on that one now. Now you will see some pieces left behind, and as I say, don't worry about those because the likelihood is that they're either just catching on one end, like the paper hasn't quite gone all the way through, but you'll see that the cardstock has. So don't worry, because when we start lifting it apart, all those bits will just come off. It's better to just wait and not try and tear anything at the moment. But you can generally check. If you're not sure if it's actually gone all the way through, take your die brush and just at the pointy end and just pick up the paper. And you can see that you can pick it up because it's sticky now, because this has got the sticky on it. But you can see that the paper's coming out fine. It's just the cardstock's coming out fine. It's just the paper behind it maybe hasn't cut all the way through. Okay, so don't panic about that. Now, if you wanted to, you could take all of those pieces and, you know, refill them back in and make flowers and all that kind of stuff. But we're not doing that today. I haven't got time for that today. So we're going to get rid of all of this stuff just for the minute. Chuck all that away, and then we can die brush this one. Ooh, there's lots of bits, so many bits. Okay, and this one then these should come out a little easier, she says. There we go. They just sort of, and you can do it on both sides. It's just because they're sticky, you know, they've got that glue on them now, so they're not coming out as easily as they would if they didn't. And here, see what I mean? This piece here, it doesn't look like it's going to come out, but if you look, it's because the paper hasn't cut all the way through, but actually this bit on this side has cut all the way through, and that's what's important. So you can just push that and it'll come. So same here. If in doubt, just take off. Just leave it on and just take it off as it comes, as we peel the whole thing off. So don't force anything is my suggestion, because they're so delicate. You just don't want to make a mess and, you know, pull one piece and then you've broken it. Then you've got to do it again. So we might need our pokey end at some point. Okay. Clear all this lot away. So now you layer one on top of the other. So if we put this one down first, we'll be able to work out where the other one's going to go. So that would be my suggestion, is you find a bit like here, and we just start to peel off this backing from behind. Now, there's quite a lot of it, and you need to make sure that you don't bend anything. So yeah, pokey tool again, just to get in between that card and that sticky side. There we go. Because these are tiny little delicate stems, so if you can, try and do it flat on a surface, and then use your pokey tool to sort of tease it up. There we go, like that. And see, as it goes, it'll go easier and easier. And then you sort of, it's almost like peeling off, like when you used to do sticky back plastic on your textbooks at school, your exercise books at school, as we did. There we go. And just make sure you haven't got any of these bits still left in, because they're not supposed to be there. Take those off. There we go. I think that's it. Yep. And then you just decide which way up you want to position your flowers. And they will stick over slightly. So I think this time, this way I did this way up, yes. It sort of just seems to fit nicer that way on the base. Now I'm using a smaller base here, so this is a 13.9 by 9.5, and I've done that on purpose because I want to have a bigger gap around the back. Now that's just beautiful on its own, isn't it? I mean, you could just literally have that on a card. Gorgeous. And that's what I like about this set. You've got so many different options for how you want your card to look. You know, you can stamp it, you can use a single die, you can use the double die, you can use the small flowers, the big flowers, you know, you pretty much, it's the world's your oyster on this one. So that's, I just think it's a lovely set. You could sponge through this die and use it as a stencil. You know, there's loads of things that you could do with this set. So, but I'm just going to layer on the top one. And look how beautifully that just picks up all those little bits. Look at that. Fantastic. Okay, so now comes the tricky bit, because now you've got to work out which way it goes back onto the... But I've learned that you just look at the leaves. Okay, so if you get that leaf down right there, and then this leaf up here, you're going to be pretty well where you should be. There we go. So leaf, leaf, flower, 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 flower. And then that's not bad. That's pretty good. This one's just squished over a little bit. I don't know why that one's squished over a little bit, but you can kind of just move it back again. There we go. And see how quick and easy was that? Apart from getting all the stuff out, but I mean that's because I was talking you through it really, rather than anything else. So that one we're going to put on a base of shaded spruce, just to give it a little bit more, what's the word? Difference? No, not just a bit of something for it to pop off the card against. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. Look at that. Something to shine against. It needs a darker background to make that really pop out. So we'll just glue that down. And at this point you could even turn it around if you liked. It's up to you which way around you want it. I'm going to go this way. And this is all I did for this card, and then just popped some ribbon on it. So we're just going to pop some ribbon on it again, and then we will see what we will see. That's in there like that. That looks good. There, there, there. And then the ribbon I've used is this new ribbon. It's like a linen ribbon, and it's from the Flowers for Every Season ribbon combo pack. You get 3 in the pack, and this is one of them. They're all different, but this is one of them. And I just liked this coming around the front and being tied. Now, if you don't like it tied, because it does form a bit of a knot, then you could also just run it across there like that. Maybe we'll do that and see what that looks like for now, and we'll just see. So you could just end and end it, if you see what I mean. Just do a little, there we go, like so. And then we might stick that down with a glue dot and pop a little sentiment or something on it. You'd need to pop a glue dot on both ends, that's the only thing, or a bit of tape, and I think it's a bit too see-through for tape. Yeah, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just tie that, make it a little bit shorter. This is where the fabulous linen thread comes in, and we've still got linen thread, so that's a good egg. Chop off a bit of linen thread. This is what we're going to do with this, just to make it look a little different, but still work and have that nice. I love the see-through element of this because it means you can see the gorgeous elements of the card beneath. And of course we've gone to all that trouble of doing that. We don't want to mess that up and not have that seen. So we'll tie this in a little bow. Okay, come on. Might have cut it a bit short even for me to tie in a bow. No, there we go. Let's get in there. Right. Tie that in a bow. You could take it round to the back. So it's on the... There we go. Just twiddle that around a bit till you're happy. There we go. Now we're going to glue dot that whole thing there in place, so it's attached there, and then just let the rest of the ribbon hang free. There we go. We'll just attach this down here, I think, to the bottom of this, maybe the centre of this flower, like so. We can squishy this around now that it's tied. There we are. Just chop that maybe a little shorter on this side. And then there's no need for a sentiment because we've got this nice little accent point here just with a bit of ribbon. And then you can put whatever sentiment you want inside. So there you go. That is that. Isn't that great? Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Just goes, a bit of linen thread there. Just beautiful, beautiful flowers. I think they're just stunning. Okay, so that's that one. And then I promise you we'd do the other one again with the stamping. So for this one, I have gone ahead and I've die cut that, so that's ready to go, just to make it a little easier. Now, because we've done this one already, we can sort of see roughly where the flowers are going to lie. So it needs to be with the flowers sort of coming, sweeping round here and here, and sort of really kind of bang slap in the middle. Now it's a large stamp, okay? You can use your Stamparatus if it makes you feel better. So the Stamparatus will help you if you haven't got the pressure in your hands to maybe push down on a large block. So I thought we would just do this so that you can see how it helps. And also, if you miss a bit, you can go back in again, which is always good. So we know that we want the 3 flowers to be, let's see, it needs to be in the centre, this one, because it's going to take a bit of, so we need the 3 flowers sort of there-ish. So you can kind of just check on that, like so. Yep, that looks about right, doesn't it? They actually go a little bit more like that, really. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll now put our magnet down to hold our flowers, our piece of cardstock. Pick up our stamp. There we go. Make sure that's attached. You can always slide your pierce mat at the back underneath here, and that helps. Or you can slide your actual stamp case as well. That also helps. Also means you remember where it's come from. Now this has its own pierce mat sort of felt, not felt, foam thing underneath, so you don't have to worry about that for these photopolymers. So we're going to go with crushed curry, and we're just going to put crushed curry everywhere. Like that. Come down. There we go. Like so. Lift. Well, see, now I missed that one, so now I can go back and press a bit harder in that place there because I missed that one. Oh, and this one. There we go. I love the Stamparatus for this because you can just see where you've missed bits. That looks good. And then if you want to, this is, you know, entirely up to you, but I love the idea of adding extra colour. Well, that's a purple. So I have, so that's Cajun Craze, there we go. So I've got a dauber, just one of our sponge daubers here, which I've just happened to, I've put the colour on it on the side. And then I'm going to go in onto my stamp, not onto here, onto your stamp, and just put a bit either around the edges or in the centre or both, remembering that we're going to actually cover quite a lot of the edge with the die. So you want to really put it in places that it will be seen. So just add a little extra colour in. So there we go. And then when you stamp that down, it should just add that little darker tone which is lovely. And of course you could just leave it like that, you know, if you like it. That's a great way of just adding. Look at that, see, just a slight extra. It's not obvious. I need a bit more up here. It's not that obvious, but it is there, and that's what I like about this this technique. It just adds a little extra to your colour. Isn't that gorgeous? I could just leave it like that really, but we're not going to. We're going to add our top layer to it. So let's clear this away. Such a great tool, that. Oh, I use it so much, it's fab. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to peel off this paper pumpkin, not paper pumpkin, no, that's the kit that's coming in August. We're going to peel off this pumpkin pie from the back here. So come on, are we coming? I want to get myself an edge. There we go. Got an edge. There we go. This one had quite a lot of bits left in it from earlier, but they're all coming out now. Just be careful, I'll come back to that in a second, but just be careful if one of them pops out or gets left behind. So this is where your little pokey tool comes in. This one popped off and stuck itself onto the back of the leaf. You want to get rid of that. There we go. Oop, don't stick yourself to the leaf. Just stick that down somewhere, out the way. And then there was a little one here that popped off and went on the front. Just saw that. There we go. So that's the only thing with these, because they're all sticky, of course, because they've all got the backing on them. So you just have to make sure that they're going in the place where you want them and not getting onto the back of your card. There's one there that's not come out. So again, just it's stuck because of that one. Again, just peel them off. They will stick to your fingers, but don't worry about that. We'll get rid of them in a minute. Oh, there's another one there. Look at that. There we go. Come on. Oh, don't do that. There we go. This is a little fiddly, this bit, but it's worth it, I promise. Okay, so now we overlay our flowers, remembering that this is going to go onto another piece of cardstock, so don't panic if it's sticking over the edges with the leaves. There we go. There we go. There we go. Isn't that cute? So cute. So that is going to go onto... Oh, now I was going to put it on... Where's my Cajun Craze? I thought I was going to put it on Cajun Craze. Hold on, I pulled the wrong bit out. There we go. Cajun Craze, that's better, because then it will show up better. So we're going to fold this over. There we go. Glue this down, and obviously the leaves are already gluey, so you don't have to glue those again. Just glue this. And depending on where you're stamping, depends on where your leaves are going to end up, if you see what I mean. Whoops. So it could have probably come a little bit off, but then the flowers would have been off. So it's just about working out, because obviously this is probably designed to fit on the US sized cardstock, which is just a little wider than ours when they fold their card in half. But you know what? I don't care. I think it still looks lovely. Okay. This one I'm not adding ribbon to. Make sure I've got the front. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Look at that. It is just over the edge of the card, but do not panic, because remember, our cards do have that extra. Our envelopes have a little bit, but if it is sticking over and it's gluey, then what I would do is I would come, because this is gluey actually, I would come down and I would just take this bit off just here so that it doesn't look weird. There we go. So that leaf is gone. It looks fine. There we go. All right, so that's that. These ones should be okay. So on this one, where is it? Where's my original one? On this one I got it completely wrong, and I had to chop. I had them turned this way, and I had to chop this one off. This one I've turned more that way. I think probably I should have done a little bit more in the middle, like a little bit more that way. But hey, hey, these things happen. I mean, if you want to, you can literally just chop those off, but I think they'll be fine. They're not that sticky and they'll be able to go in the envelope, and you can always use your embossing buddy to just take the gluiness off of those. So that's that. And then we'll just do a little bit of a sentiment down here. I was going to use pumpkin pie, but actually I'm thinking a bit of Cajun craze would probably be better. Hold on, not Cajun craze. No, crushed curry even. So we'll grab a bit of crushed curry. Yeah, that'll stand out a bit better. And then we can use Cajun craze for the writing. And we can do a little, let's do happy birthday for this one. Okay. Now I also did chop out some of the little tiny extra flowers, so you can stick one of those if you want to wherever, because they also have an inner and an outer. So I didn't do the inner, I just did the outer. And I don't know whether do they layer on top of these ones? They do, look at that. So that's the same as that one, which means the other one I've got here somewhere, wherever it's gone, here we go, is probably that one. Oh, look at that. So you could make those different colours if you wanted to. How cool is that? I like that. Or just add extra ones. You know, you could just add some, you could switch them around and just add extra flowers. In fact, I might do that because that looks kind of cool. We'll see. Okay, so this is happy birthday going in. There we go. I love the dropped crosses of the font here. So the little central cross of the H and the A have all been dropped down. I think it looks really quite modern. It's sort of well, I say modern, but it's like an Art Deco type font, really, isn't it? And I'm just going to chop that out. Like so. Chop. Chop. Check. Well, that's a little squiffy, but they're both a little squiffy, so that's okay. So then we can pop that on some mini dimensionals. No, that's major dimensionals, minis. Minis, minis, minis. And that will go on top there. So today we have looked at these gorgeous dies from the Blossoms in Bloom bundle and the stamps that go with them, and I think you'll agree that they are a fabulous set. And all this month we're going to be looking at florals and techniques you can use with florals, because we have so many in the new catalogue. I just felt that it would be a good idea to celebrate the florals. Now we'll just change this card up a bit by putting in another flower, and again these were all done on with the backing, so that's cool. We can just pop that one down there. Which way round will it fit best? That way probably. Yeah, there we go. Add that one down there, and then we'll add this one up here, and it just sort of balances that back out again then, I think. There we go. That's nice. Adds a bit more balance on this side. So there you are. So from this one to this one, and then from this one to this one. They're cool, aren't they? I think they come out really nice in all the different colours and different styles. So I hope you've enjoyed that. That's the Blossoms in Bloom bundle. And as I say, you get the stamp set and the set of dies that go with it, wherever they've gone, over here. Yeah, so you get both of these with the... Oh, I've lost them. Oh, here they are. Yeah, so you get both of these dies and the two little ones that match, as I say, with the inners and the outers. So you get all of that and the stamp set in a bundle together. And then I'll put all the measurements, dimensions and colours used up on my blog, and in the details below as well you can see all the colours I've used. And if you want to order anything, you can pop down, click a link, go to my shop, create an account if you want, or not if you don't, but just make sure that I'm your demo of choice. And then if you're in the UK or Europe, obviously if you're in anywhere else in the world, you'll need to find a local Stampin' Up! Demonstrator to you, because I can only sell in the UK and the European markets that Stampin' Up! Sell in. So that's it for today. Next week we'll be back with more florals, more different techniques and lots of things for you to learn, and I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for being with me, and I hope you've had fun, and I'll see you then. Alrighty, bye.